Big story that we were focusing on this evening is, of course, the latest on the farm laws. Important development coming in. You heard the Agriculture Minister just a while ago saying that he will be looking to suspend the farm laws. In the meantime, while the protests should also be suspended, and the talks between the Farmer Association and the government will continue. Of course, important developments coming in, and as promised, we will be getting you an expert on the show in just a while from now. In fact, the farm unions, remember, were sitting on a protest for the last few days. They even threatened to disrupt the Republic Day parade as well. And now the farmer union saying that finally it looks like there is certain signs of thaw. The government today has said that they will be proposing to suspend the farm laws for a year and a half if the protests are lifted. The union government, in fact, also is ready to give an affidavit in the Supreme Court on the same as well. Narendra?
Tomar, the Agriculture Minister, has held a press conference just a few minutes back where he has confirmed the next round of talks will be on January 22nd and that the implementation of the farm bills could be deferred by 1 year till a consensus of sorts is reached. We will be joined very soon by YK Alagh to talk more about this. But this is the big developing story. You know, it's in the Supreme Court as well, Richie. Today in the Supreme Court, and we can bring our colleague Abhimanyu Sharma also on the phone line to talk more about the concerns legally as well. It's been called the 1991 moment for the agriculture sector ahead of Republic Day. That's what the Supreme Court, for example, was talking about. How will the 500 tractors, etc., come into the city? What is it going to mean for law and order? YK Alagh, the economist and former union minister, now joining us to talk more about this. Sir, thank you so much for being a part of India Tonight. This is the breaking story being announced in a press conference by the Agriculture Minister. The next round of talks will be on January 22nd, but this is the first time since all of this began that you're seeing some sign of a thaw, with the government willing to defer the rollout and the implementation of the farm bill till some kind of a consensus is reached, till a committee starts looking into all of this. If I could first begin by getting your initial reaction. It's a first sign of a thaw that you've seen after months.
If what is reported is correct, it's a very happy development. I think the laws were passed in a hurry in Parliament, as you know, on the last day. And this will give both the government as well as farmers in different parts of the country time to react to this. The Punjab, Haryana, Western UP farmers are basically MSP, that's an MSP-dominated agriculture, because large quantities of grain come in very small, in a very short period, and procurement at an MSP is extremely important to lift the grain off the markets and from the farmers. But in different parts of the country, the policy requirements are different. In Western India, for example, we are largely a market-dominated agriculture. And once the COVID lockdowns are over, which we hope is this year, later, there will be some aspects of the farm laws which it will be easier to implement. So all in all, a very encouraging piece of news. If it is fully correct, I would keep my fingers crossed, and I hope that we are able to progress. I think suspending the farm laws for a year and giving the country time to react, its farmers and its policymakers, is a very sensible thing to do at this stage of development. But I haven't seen the details of what the reactions of different groups are. So I'm going by what you have announced already.
Mr. Alagh, hi, good evening. This is Ruchi Bhatia. In fact, this was announced by the Agriculture Minister just a while ago, and just a few minutes ago. We were, of course, live with that press conference as well. One of the contentious issues that we have seen that the farmers have been raising time and again is a legal guarantee for MSP. Even though the farm laws will be put into suspension for some time, what do you think could be, the middle ground in terms of the legal guarantee that the centre has been avoiding discussions on so far?
My own impression is that if a full guarantee is given by the centre, sometimes when you are agitating for something, you put in a request, but I think it's quite likely that if the laws are suspended, the farmer unions may agree to the status quo, which is that it is more or less certain that the government and its procurement agencies, the FCI, will procure all the grain that comes at given the quality and the price requirements. And this is what the farmers really want. They'd be happier with a legal guarantee, but it's not unlikely that they'll settle for a commitment by the government rather than the legal guarantee.
I'll make this my final question to you, sir. This is Narendra once again. With the government offering to, and the agriculture minister is on record about this, the government has offered to not implement the farm bills for 1 to 1.5 years. This is an offer that the farm unions will be deliberating and then coming back to the government on January 22nd with their response. That's, of course, the big headline. Going forward, a lot of people are divided about whether the farm bills are good or not. The MSP, for example, is guaranteed. It's the government that has hiked the MSP. It's allowing a farmer to have the freedom to grow whatever he wants to or she wants to grow and sell at whatever price to whoever he or she wants. It's been called the 1991 movement for agriculture landscape as well. What do you think the real problem also is? Is it in the lack of communication by the government to explain to the farmers maybe? Or is it also a case maybe of the trader community being upset about it because suddenly the farmers will also be empowered to sell to whoever they want at whatever price?
Are you asking me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Do you think the root of the problem is also the lack of communication by the government? I'm asking you, sir, do you think the root of the problem also has been the lack of communication by the government in explaining to the farmer community on why these bills are good for them?
I think it's a little more than that. I don't think it is very realistic to think that they don't understand what's going on. The plain fact of the matter is that you can't have a one-size policy for agriculture in different parts of the country. In the northwest part of India, there are good soils, there is irrigation, and the paddy wheat rotation is with high yields is something which many experts think, and I tend to agree with them, like Gurmail Singh, that that's a very natural kind of agriculture. Yes, in some parts of the Punjab, South Punjab, where irrigation is not good, or parts of Haryana where the Indira Gandhi Canal waters don't reach, you have problems. But by and large in this region, this is a paddy wheat region, and here the MSP is extremely important. Now, if the government guarantees that the MSP-based agriculture will not be changed for the time being, I think the farmers will find it not that difficult to accept that, which, as you say, is happening. If for a year this whole business is putting everything in the market which is not a very sensible thing in Punjab. And listen, there are very large quantities of grain which come in very short periods. And you can't be talking about markets in a kind of slipshod manner. Yes, it is true that the RTR is used, but
Right.
that was in Dr. Manmohan Singh because he
Right.
switched over from the FCI to save overhead costs. But the RTR there does not have any dominant price determining role. In other parts of the country, he does. So if we
Right.
recognize this, okay.
Okay. We totally get your point, sir. Appreciate you taking your time out and helping us make sense of those developments. In fact, as we've been showing on the channel, the government has said that they will be putting the farm laws in suspension for a period of a year and a half, and will also be looking to submit an affidavit in the apex court as well. We were, of course, in a conversation with Mr. YK Alagh, sir. Appreciate you taking your time out and speaking with us.